We're ashamed of you." My mother, Marlene, announced it over the clink of crystal and the glow of the Christmas candles like she'd rehearsed it in front of the mirror. Laughter followed, hers brittle and triumphant, while the roast steamed and the fireplace crackled behind her. 20-something relatives froze mid-bite. My sister Jenna hid a smirk behind her wine. My brother Elijah speared potatoes he suddenly found fascinating. "Avery, are you even listening?" Marlene purred, as if concern could be painted on after the insult had landed. I set down my fork. My hands were steady. 4 years of these orchestrated humiliations had taught me control. What she didn't know, the acceptance letter folded in my pocket and the receipts in my coat would snap this stage tableau in half. "I heard you," I said. "And you're right. There's shame here." She leaned back, satisfied. "Finally. You should be ashamed you've been draining Grandma Rose's accounts." The room went silent enough to hear the hiss of pine sap in the fire. Dad's fork clattered. Marlene's face flashed from scarlet to ash. "What did you say?" he asked. I reached for the manila folder tucked beneath my scarf. "Do we start with the forged withdrawals, or the month Rose spent without heat, while your kitchen got imported stone?" "Lies," Jenna said softly, eyes flicking to Mom. I tapped the first page. November 15th, $45,000. Same day the new car arrived. December 3rd, $30,000. Photos of Rose's empty fridge. Past due notice. Eviction warning. She's been sleeping on my couch. Rose's voice, clear, steady, cut through. Let her finish. Gasps rippled across the table. Aunt Vanessa's hand flew to her mouth while Uncle Jeffrey grabbed the folder from me. His face darkened as his eyes scanned the numbers. "Marlene, this is Rose's money," he said, voice shaking. $200,000 gone in a year. This is theft." Mom shot up, trembling. "I have power of attorney. It's legal. She needs care." I laughed bitterly. "Is care what you call dumping her on my couch while you're in Rome? Is care letting her go without medication because the money went to your designer retreats?" Jenna's voice wavered. "You're lying." I pulled out my phone, scrolling to photos. Rose's empty fridge, the overdue utility bills, the eviction notice stamped in red. Do those look like lies? Dad's voice cracked like a whip. "You searched through your mother's belongings?" "No," I snapped. "I searched through Grandma's when she called me crying because she was freezing in her apartment in Lansing, Michigan. Did any of you know she's been with me for 6 months because Marlene rented out her home on Airbnb?" A stunned silence followed. Elijah finally raised his eyes. "Mom told us Avery refused to help. She said you were selfish. She needed a scapegoat," I answered coldly. And I was convenient. Rose's cane tapped against the floor as she stood, her voice hard as steel. "Enough. Avery has cared for me while my own daughter squandered my savings." She asked me to keep quiet so she could gather proof without tearing us apart. But it's Marlene who has ripped this family open. I slid the final page across the table, the letterhead of Yale Medical School gleaming at the top. And if you still think I'm a disappointment, remember this. Every job I worked, every shift I dragged myself through wasn't for myself. It was for Grandma. And despite the weight you all piled on me, I still made it. Tears rolled down Marlene's cheeks as she clutched the letter, her mask cracking in front of everyone. Uncle Jeffrey's face darkened further as he flipped through the records. "Marlene, this isn't a mistake. This is grand larceny. Do you understand the consequences?" Mom collapsed into her chair, sobbing. "I didn't mean Robert's business was failing. We needed help. I thought you thought stealing from your mother was the answer." Aunt Vanessa's voice was sharp with disgust and blaming Avery for being heartless when she was the only one protecting Rose. I steadied my voice, though my chest ached. "I didn't just need parents who loved me. I needed you to believe in me even once. Instead, I became the villain while you drained the person who gave you life." Rose laid a hand over mine. "No more lies," she said firmly. "I'm moving in with Avery. She's already prepared a room for me. As for the money, you return every cent within 30 days, or we press charges. No discussion." Dad tried to intervene. "Marlene, apologize. This can be salvaged." "No," Rose cut in. "It can't. Avery is my daughter in every way that matters. She's given more love than either of you ever offered." I rose, suddenly exhausted. "Come on, Grandma. We're going home. The rest of you can decide if you still want to share a table with a thief." Jenna's eyes welled. "Avery, wait. I didn't know. Mom told us you were jealous, that you refused to help. I never questioned it." I turned to the doorway. "You never asked me, Jenna. Not once. That's on you." As Rose and I gathered her things, Mom's sobs grew louder. "How could you do this to me at Christmas?" I looked back, meeting her tear-streaked face. "You asked why you should be ashamed of me. Here's the truth. You should be ashamed that your daughter had to become the parent you never were." We left to a chorus of gasps and whispers. Some family members hurried to Marlene's side. Others followed us with apologies. Uncle Jeffrey promised his support. Aunt Vanessa hugged me, murmuring that she'd always suspected something didn't add up. In the car, Rose squeezed my hand. "I'm not sorry, you know." I blinked at her. "For what?" "For the truth finally being spoken. You've carried too much alone. Now you're free." Tears slid down my face. "She'll never forgive me." "Do you need her forgiveness?" Rose asked gently. "Or do you need to forgive yourself for chasing love that was never there?" As we pulled into the driveway of my small apartment in Madison, Wisconsin, our home now, I finally breathed. The letter to Yale lay in my coat pocket, no longer a secret, but a promise. That night, stringing lights on a tiny tree, I realized something. This wasn't just the end of enduring shame. It was the beginning of living without it.